Most men spend years thinking that they have a problem with discipline and willpower. You don't. You think you know exactly what you should be doing, such as staying calm in arguments, being present with your kids, not procrastinating on the work that matters, not spending money on things that you don't need, eating better, sleeping more, training consistently. Now, you've probably read the books, you've watched the videos, you've told yourself 100 times that this week will be different. And then somewhere between the plan and execution, something breaks, something goes wrong. You might eat perfectly all day and then find yourself raiding the cupboards at 9 p.m. You'll swear you'll stay calm and then you'll lose your temper. Promise yourself an early night and then you'll scroll until midnight. You nail it at work and then you come home as the tired, irritable, checked out version of you. Employees, customers, clients, your team, they get the best version of you, whilst those that matter most at home, they get the worst. This pattern or cycle isn't a character flaw. It's not weak willpower. It's not laziness, zero discipline, and it's not a lack of desire or ambition. It's a systems problem. And by systems, I'm referring to our internal systems that you may have heard of, but haven't considered how they ultimately control your decisions, your behaviors, and your reactions. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how to fix it all. Not by training harder, not with another app, not by having one more stern conversation with yourself in the metaphorical mirror, but by rebuilding the operating system that runs your life literally from the inside out. Now, this is episode 6, the final piece of this series. If you've watched all 5, you already have some serious strategies to help you during the most overwhelming and oversubscribed season of your life. If you haven't watched all 5 yet, then please pause this episode and go back and watch them. They're designed to work together and the full picture really matters. Now, there's one thing that none of those episodes covered, and it's crucial. Strategy only works when you can execute it, and you can only execute when your physiology and psychology is working with you, not against you. This is what this video is all about. The hidden layer beneath everything. The 5 systems in your body that drive how you think, feel, act, and behave, regardless of what you know you should do. Miss this layer and none of the strategy from the previous 5 episodes will stick. So let me show you exactly what I mean. Most blokes think that their problem is discipline. In other words, you tell yourself you just need to try harder tomorrow or next week. You cannot willpower your way past your physiology. Willpower is a finite resource, whereas your physiology is infinite. It's functioning 24/7. It governs everything. When you fight your own biological systems with nothing but discipline, you lose every single time. Now, there are 5 hidden systems in your body that drive how you think, feel, act, and behave. Regardless of what you know you should do, regardless of how badly you want it, when these systems are broken, you are fighting a chemical war that you cannot win. When they're aligned, however, discipline becomes effortless, and therefore the results do as well. These systems don't just affect your health, they drive your behavior across every single one of the 6 pillars. They affect your relationships, your temper, your self-belief, your performance in business, your financial decisions, your drive to eat and train well, your prioritization for fun, rest, and the importance of decompression. So let me walk you through them one by one. System 1, your circadian rhythm. This can be seen as your body's master clock. And when it's broken, you feel tired all day and wired all night. Your decisions are more likely to be controlled by your emotional brain. The hormone that makes you feel hungry is elevated, and the hormone that makes you feel full becomes suppressed. Your results, your efforts are left to chance, your day is left to chance, your overall energy and enthusiasm is through the floor. The fix is to ensure that within 60 minutes of waking up in the morning, you get 10 to 15 minutes of natural light into your eyes. Don't look at your phone first. Step outside. This signals to your brain that the day has started. It sets a timer for melatonin release roughly 16 hours later, when another compound in your brain called adenosine has built up so much sleep pressure that you then want to go to bed on time in order to wake up with enthusiasm the following day. Exposure to sunlight, temperature, and the times that you eat and drink all send signals to your circadian rhythm to inform it of where you are on this repetitive day-night cycle. Getting it right improves how your mind and body functions and coincides with the time of day. Now, your bedtime routine starts first thing the morning before. Getting adequate natural light, not from lights in your house or the light from your phone, will tell your circadian rhythm whereabouts in the cycle your body, brain, physiology needs to be. A broken circadian rhythm is why you crave junk at night, even when you're not hungry. It makes you emotionally reactive, which is why you snap at your partner and your kids over things that wouldn't normally bother you. It degrades your decision making, which is why you make impulsive financial choices and put off important work until tomorrow or next week. One system, broken sleep, every single pillar suffers. Now, when I fixed mine, I started going to bed earlier because I felt tired enough to do so. Not the type of tired that led to me snacking on crap whilst watching shit on TV and calling it me time, the type of tired that meant that I wanted to go to bed, sleep well, and wake up early. I now get my me time before everybody else wakes up. I enjoy a quiet coffee, write, sometimes I get work done, then I can enjoy my evenings with the family. And my overall calorie intake dropped without having to diet or track anything because I wasn't up at 10 o'clock at night wondering what I could find in the fridge or the kitchen cupboards. The new cycle became easy. System 2, your nervous system. You come home from work, but you aren't really home. Your body has walked through the door, but your brain is still processing emails, problems, decisions, things people did or didn't do. You're irritable, you're snappy, even though you don't realize it. There's a risk you'll reach for a drink or food just to numb the noise. And whether you do or you don't, there's also a high likelihood that you'll end up in an argument with your partner or you'll lose your temper at the kids. Now you're stuck in sympathetic mode, fight or flight. You've spent 10 plus hours in high alert. Get up, get ready, sit in traffic, solve problems, put out fires, maybe you train, tackle some more traffic. You come home to responsibility and chaos and noise. You can't just knock a switch and become the calm, zen dad instantly, automatically. The fix is the transition ritual we've mentioned previously. You need a physical buffer between work and home. Park the car or close the laptop. Better still, go for a walk. Do 2 to 3 minutes of cyclic sighing like I mentioned in episode 2. Ask yourself, really important, who do I want to be when I walk through that front door? Then ask yourself this, if I watched myself back on CCTV after the night closes, how do I need to act in certain probable situations so I'm not disappointed with what I am watching back? Do not walk into your house until you've shifted gears. Put a different hat on. And think about where else your dysregulated nervous system shows up. It's why you treat your team and clients with the best version of you, then give your family the tired, irritable leftovers. It's why you lose your temper in an argument even when you swore you'd stay calm. It's why you can't sit still and decompress without reaching for a distraction like your phone or food. Your nervous system is running the show and you're just along for the ride. System 3, your endocrine system. Ever notice that when you're tired, you don't go rooting the fridge hoping for steak and eggs? You crave sugar, carbs, fat, crisps, chocolate, biscuits, fizzy drinks. For me, it used to be a cheese sandwich. The combination of both fats and carbs together was just appealing. When you sleep less than 7 hours or more, your hormones go to war against you. Ghrelin, your hunger hormone, spikes. You feel hungry even when you're not. Leptin, your fullness or satiety hormone, drops. You never feel satisfied. You can eat and eat and eat. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises. Your body holds on to energy and the cycle repeats day after day. The fix is the 3-2-1 rule. 3 hours before bed, no more food. 2 hours before bed, no more screens. 1 hour before bed, no more light. Here's what's frustrating. Now, you need a lot of light in the morning to trigger wakefulness. Yet the slightest amount of light in the evening will prevent you from sleeping well. So knock off the bright bathroom light when you brush your teeth. If you can, use dim accent lighting instead, or ambient light from the room next door. These small standards compound massively over time. But this system doesn't just determine whether you snack at night. It also determines whether you have emotional stability to remain calm in a difficult conversation, whether you have the energy to be present with your kids after a long day, whether you can focus on the deep work that actually moves your business forward instead of bouncing between low-value tasks that you think you want to do. Your hormones are shaping your decisions all day long and you don't even feel it happening. You're not aware of it. System 4, your digestive system. You think that you are in charge. For most men, it's the primitive brain that's in control, the emotional center, the part that seeks entertainment, reward, and gratification. But your digestive system has a direct line to that part of your brain. Your gut produces 90% of your serotonin, your mood hormone. If your gut is inflamed from processed food, stress, alcohol, then you bet that your brain is inflamed too. Brain fog, procrastination, low motivation, decision fatigue, low mood. You don't need a productivity hack. You need to stop stressing your second brain, your gut. The fix is the 90% rule. Eat whole, single ingredient foods 90% of the time. Steak, beef, lamb, oily fish, whole eggs, yogurt, potatoes, berries, avocados, bananas. This lowers inflammation because you're no longer consuming your food in the form that's causing it in the first place. And it clears the fog. If you fix the first 3 systems, eating this way becomes naturally easier anyway, because you crave less junk when you're sleeping well and your nervous system is regulated. Brain fog doesn't just make you bad at work, it makes you a less patient father, it makes you avoid difficult conversations with your partner, it makes you put off the side project or the financial audit or the difficult decision because you just don't have the mental clarity or capacity to face it. Your gut is either supporting your identity or undermining it, and there is no neutral, there's no in between. System 5, your immune system. You wake up stiff, you feel heavy, your energy is low even after 3 or more coffees. Chronic stress, poor sleep, and bad food create systemic inflammation. Your body thinks it's under attack 24 hours a day. It diverts energy away from your brain and muscles to fight an internal war that's going on without you even realizing it. Now, you aren't getting old, you're just under the weather, you're sick. Only instead of being a series of symptoms that gradually get better as your body naturally fights it off, these feelings, these symptoms, they never go away because it's linked to the choices that you're making every single day of your life. The fix, as well as everything else we've talked about, is movement. Movement is the best anti-inflammatory drug available. Ideally, lift something heavy, but you don't need to nail a 2-hour gym session. You just need to move. Walk to get fresh air, to think, to decompress. Take work calls on a walk. Take movement snacks, 3 lots of 10-minute walks, which have been found to be better for you than just one bout of 30 minutes. Find a way to move more. Eventually, this will probably lead to something more comprehensive, but meet yourself where you're at right now. Don't make monstrous changes overnight. Just do a little more than you did last week and keep repeating that. Think about what we discussed in the previous episode, in episode 5. Your immune system connects to everything. Chronic inflammation doesn't just make you feel physically run down, it affects your mood. It makes you more irritable, it reduces your resilience to stress, it makes you reach for a quick fix dopamine hits, junk food, doom scrolling, impulse purchases, alcohol, porn, all because your body is quietly fighting a war that you keep fueling. What happens when all 5 align? Well, when your circadian rhythm is fixed, you wake up full of energy and enthusiasm. When your nervous system is regulated, you're calm under pressure. When your endocrine system is balanced, you burn fat effortlessly. When your digestive system is in a good place, you have mental clarity. And when your immune system is supported, you recover fast. And when all 5 systems are aligned, discipline becomes effortless. You don't need to fight yourself to do the thing you know you should do. The strategy from episodes 1 through to 5 stop becoming something you have to force, and it becomes something you naturally execute. You start doing what you know you need to do. And that's the piece most men never get to. They have the plan, they have the goals, they maybe have the identity statement, although it's quite rare, but their physiology is sabotaging them from underneath, and they're blaming their discipline, their character, or their worth as a man. The hidden systems aren't hidden because they're complicated, they're hidden because nobody talks about them. The fitness industry wants to sell you programs and diets. The productivity industry wants to sell you planners and apps. The self-help industry wants to sell you mindset by itself. Nobody tells you that none of it works unless your body's operating system is running properly first. Now, I learned all of this the hard way. After leaving the Royal Marines, I built a very successful career in professional sport, starting initially as a strength and conditioning coach, then psychology, then performance director. I went from rugby league, ice hockey, Olympic weightlifting, ultra endurance to professional tennis and motorsport. Toward the end of my time in tennis, and as I transitioned into motorsport, my eldest, Ollie, was born. I continued to prioritize my career over everything else because without realizing it, having a cool job title was masking a genuine lack of self-confidence. Telling people what I did for a living made me feel better in social situations. I felt that it gave me status. I was basing my self-worth on things that were materialistic, man-made, and ultimately worthless. One day, I realized I was missing a pretty large chunk of my first son's life. working away at competitions, training camps, traveling with the team, on calls at unsociable times because members of the organization operated worldwide. I either wasn't at home or I wasn't present. And after working away, I'd come home and blow a silly amount of money on stupid things to try and compensate for my absence. Eventually, I knew that I'd get older and I'd live to regret my choices. So I quit and I went all in working with men just like you, sharing my knowledge and experience from my time in the military, along with 10 years in professional sport, whilst aligning these lessons with the mistakes that I previously made and learned from as both a man and a father. I realized that ultimately work is important, really important, but it's no more important than our health, relationships, personal development, and our need to rest, decompress, and have fun. The core mechanism behind Op Rebuild is that I help men build a life on their terms, your terms, a life where your business, your work fits around your life instead of the other way around, because most men fall into the trap of having to fit their life around their business. Work takes up the majority of their time, focus, attention, energy, and headspace. And I want to flip that script so that you can prioritize all 6 pillars equally and build a life that you truly want in every area on your terms. And that includes being more effective and efficient at work so you can buy back more time to do the things that you want to do. So here's my offer to you. I've created something called the Access All Areas Accelerator. It's 28 days. You get 50% off the usual monthly RRP and there's no contract. You get full access to everything inside of Op Rebuild, the systems, the guidance, importantly, the accountability, my one-to-one access stack, communication, every stone unturned. The purpose of this is simple. You get to see if I'm a good fit for you, and I get to see if you're a good fit for me. This can't be determined on a quick one-off 45-minute sales call. At the end of the 28 days, if you want to continue working with me, then you can. If you don't, that's fine. No questions asked, no hard sell, you can walk away. But if you're not blown away by the service, the results, and the momentum that you build within these 28 days, then I'll continue to work with you for free until you are. So I take all of the risk, you take none. I'm that confident that I can help you. Now, I don't do discovery or sales calls. I don't do hour-long conversations trying to convince you to buy from me and join. I'd rather keep my diary open for the meaningful work that I'm doing with the men inside of Op Rebuild. And once you've joined us, you'll prefer that I do the same as well, as my time is then spent focused on you and your journey. So click the link to my Instagram in the description of this video below. In Instagram, DM me one word, and that is ready. That'll tell me if you've watched these videos and you'll receive everything you need to get set up and get started immediately, regardless of what time zone you're in. No delay, no waiting, no back and forth. You've got the strategy. Episodes 1 through to 5 gave you the operating systems. This episode gives you the hidden layer beneath it all, the physiology that determines whether any of it actually works for you consistently. What you need now is to be held accountable. Someone in your corner that can see things through a different lens, because I'm not emotionally attached to the problem. Someone who genuinely wants to see you win for your sake, but also your kids and your partner. So click the Instagram link, DM me ready, and let's find out what you're actually capable of when your systems are working with you instead of against you. I look forward to working with you.